In this video, I will walk you through step by step how to complete the first assignment for EGR200, Getting Started in Solidworks. Once you've opened Solidworks, you'll start a new part, and if prompted, you'll choose the units to be millimeters, gram seconds, mmgs. The first thing that we're going to do in Solidworks is start with a 2D sketch. This is almost always the first step. And specifically what I would like for drawing our first part is to start on the top plane. So I'm going to select the top plane and sketch and make sure that the sketch is located on the top plane. And then as I add to it, will be in the right orientation for the part to look the way that I expect it to. Step 5 is to choose a centered rectangle. So I choose that from the rectangle menu, and I'm going to start the rectangle at the origin and pull it to really any size. It doesn't matter because we're going to use the Smart Dimension tool in step 6 to change the size to be 15.8 millimeters by 7.8 millimeters. Once I have the dimensions set, I click the green check mark to close the Smart Dimension tool and exit sketch. And now I go to the Features menu to extrude that sketch and make it into a 3D object. So I click Extrude Boss Base, and I change the height from the default of 10 millimeters to be 3.2 millimeters, and click the green checkbox to accept. For step 8, I'm going to do a new sketch on top of the box that I just created. So sketch, select the plane, and now I would like to add a center circle. I'm going to pull from the circle menu, grab a circle, and start drawing the circle at the center line of the rectangle. I can tell that I'm at the center line by the dashed blue line that appears. So I don't want to start the circle here or here. I only want to start it somewhere along the center line. When I go to draw the circle, I will draw it to a random size. It doesn't matter the exact radius that I pick. I'll use Smart Dimension to fix the dimensions. But I need to be careful to not snap it to the edge of the rectangle. If I snap it to the edge of the rectangle, now there's a new rule about the size of the circle. So I want to make it small, just to be on the safe side. Accept. And now I'm going to use Smart Dimension to set the diameter to 4.8 millimeters and the spacing from the center to the edge of the rectangle at 3.9 millimeters. I accept the dimensions, and now I'm ready for step 11. I'm going to mirror this circle so that there are two circles on top of my brick. In order to use the mirror function, I need a line to mirror about. I want that to be centered on top of the rectangle, so I'm adding that to the sketch. You see that when I draw a line in SolidWorks, it expects that I want to draw several lines. Since I only want one line, I'm going to use Escape to turn off that function. And now I'm ready to select the Mirror Entities function, select my entity to mirror, the circle, and click with my mouse on Mirror About and select the line as what I would like to mirror about. Once I accept the mirrored circle, I can highlight the line, click Delete, and now I have two circles that are identical and they have the same geometry definitions. So if I change one of them, it will change both of them. I now exit the sketch. Just like we did to make the brick, I go to Features, Extrude Boss Base. I want to extrude both circles, but I don't want them to be as tall as the brick. I want them to be 1.7 millimeters tall. Once I like the extrusion, I click the checkbox to accept the change, and now I'm ready to make a drawing from the part. So I'm going to go to this tool up here to save the part, because I need to save it before I can make a drawing. Once I've saved the part, I can go to the File menu and I can make drawing from part. I'm going to choose an A1 size for my drawing. And I can drag views onto the drawing list. So I would like to import annotations. And I'm going to drag in the top view. I want a top view, a side view, and I have the 3 drawing views that I do want to include. Now to add dimensions, I'm going to go to Annotation, Model Items, and import the dimensions by clicking on each of these views. You can see the dimensions show up. And then last but not least, I'm going to accept those items and go to Sheet Format, Edit Sheet Format to edit the information in the bottom right corner. I can do this by zooming in and clicking on each of the parts that I want to change. So I would like the part name, instead of being part 1, I would like it to say EGR200 part 1. I would like to edit the material. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so it's easier to read. And once I click Edit Text, I can say material is ABS. I'm going to add my name. I'll just put my initials and the date. January 29th, 2020. So the title, initials, material, and date are the only 4 things that I'll ask you to include. Once you've included all of those, you can exit the edit sheet, you can zoom out, and you can see your completed drawing. In order to turn this assignment in on Canvas, you should save it as a PDF file. You can do Save As in order to select PDF as one of the options. And you can save this as EGR200 Part 1. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope this video helps you get started with SolidWorks.